Life can be tricky. It challenges you to remember where you came from so you can know where you're going. At the same time, it wants you not to get stuck in the past and remain in the present moment. Unfortunately, there's no blueprint for any of this. Life doesn't provide it. But here at the Inner Circle Counseling Show, we can help you balance it all. Welcome to the Inner Circle.
Live from Inner Circle Studios, broadcasting from the basement of our home office. This is the Inner Circle Counseling Show, where America goes for counseling. What's going on, America? I hope everyone's off to a great start this week, doing their thing, kind of trying to stay focused. I know we're in the holidays, and I know this triggers a lot of people. I got a video coming up on holiday stress. We'll add that soon to the episode list. But in the meantime, I want to blow this up a little bit. And if you recall last week's show was about taking L's or taking losses. And I ended that show, I wanted to do a two-parter. I ended that show on this word right here, that F word. Y'all all know it. We know it. I definitely know it, the word fear. And I talked about, towards the end of that show, that fear, in a sense, prevents us from leveling up. It actually can prevent you and me from taking the losses we need to take so that we learn from them and grow. So I want to explore, what I didn't do in that last video is explore what this actually is, what fear, and I added insecurity, what they are. We need to understand those key concepts so that when we have experience that fear and insecurity in this case, we know what we're dealing with, and it doesn't take us into a place where we get stuck. That's all this is about. We don't want you to get stuck. Here at the Inner Circle, we want you to experience and lean to a little bit of understanding. So fear and insecurity. Let's go. How we do on this show often, I reference the dictionary down there. It says Merriam-Webster. I reference the dictionary all the time. So I break this down. This is interesting. Insecure, it means a deficit in assurance. That makes sense. But when I look at that closely, I said, oh, that word deficit is interesting. Let's dig into that. So if you have a deficiency, that means there's a lacking in some necessary quality or element. When I saw that definition, my eyes lit up, seriously. Lacking in some necessary, a required quality or element. That can be dangerous. So I got me thinking a little bit on my scientific side. So hopefully you can see that. That make out as H2O. And that's the symbol for, we all know, water. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. I'm assuming you got your basic science under your belt. That's water. Then I got deep on me. I said, if you remove an element from this equation, the H2O equation, it is no longer water. And that blew my mind. It blew my mind, because what if you did that to you, a human, man, woman, what, child, whatever? What if you have a deficiency, you're lacking in some necessary quality or element? What if I am? Then we got trouble. What this means is, you can see it behind my shoulder. This means that you are not yourself. And you hear this all the time in society. I'm just not myself today. I hear my athletes. It just wasn't my day. I didn't have it. I wasn't myself. Bosses, people, managers, the people working at Kroger. You can see it on our faces when we're not ourselves. And essentially, we're lacking a necessary element. So you might be asking yourself, I'm going to go back for a second. I want to see if I can go back. You might be asking yourself, so what happened to you to be missing that piece of yourself? Where did it go? Now you got a sneak peek. I'll bring it back. This is what happened. And what is it? We need to explore that. We talk about it all the time, but we don't explore it, because this concept is impacting us and having and impact on our identity. We're losing ourselves. So let's go. It's like the Matrix. What door do you take? Well, what is fear? This is what it is here. So I know you probably thought it's going to be a list of things. This is very simple. And I credit my dad for this. I'm not sure where he got it from, but he said it once to me, locked in my mind. It really instilled this philosophy. Fear can only be two things. One, not getting what you want, or losing what you already have. Simple, clean, to the point. So now I know your minds are working. Okay, which one is it for me? Which one am I? And it's tricky. I want to look at it that way. I'm going to introduce some concepts to this piece on the next page, and I just want you to explore. I'm not going to draw a direct correlation between the variables I bring in this next page with not getting what you want or losing what you already have. I want you to work on them yourself. So ready? Let's do this. Blank sheet, blank form here. First one. Are you, hopefully you can see that, it's on this side. Are you entitled? We're just going to let that sit with you. Okay? And I want you to try to relate this to fear, not getting what you want or losing what you already have. Spoiled. Spoiled. I got it. You got everything. You got too much. You ever heard your parents say, you're spoiled. You're spoiled. Are you spoiled? Check this next thing out. Do you have too much? Somebody might say, well, that's what spoiled means. Well, you can take it how you want, but we're trying to relate this to fear. Losing what you already have, or fear of not getting what you want. Low self-esteem. That's a big one. That can block us from exploring that next level. You're just asking yourself these questions. My self-esteem, where is it? Is it in the right space? Do I usually get my way? I want you to ask yourself that question. Because if you usually get your way, then you might have a fear of maybe losing what you already have, or more likely, potentially not getting what you want. Something to think about it. We're trying to tackle fear. What about faith? We don't like to talk about that, but we do because it sounds a lot like religion. You could take this how you want. Are you lacking faith? That might kind of influence how you perceive fear. We got a couple more here. We'll talk about these. Low self-efficacy. I like to read this. This is the belief in your ability to achieve goals. We don't use that one. We use self-esteem a lot. But the low self-efficacy, are you low in the belief that you can actually achieve? That's going to directly impact your fear of not getting what you want or losing what you already have. That's a deep one. I love that one. That's a psychology term we learn. Do you need to take more risks? I'm looking at you, Mr. Miller, which is me, and I'm doing it. I'm on the screen. You know how hard it took, how long and how hard it was for me to get up here? I can't even say it because it's an emotional thing, but we're here. And we're just trying to help one person at a time. If one person just watches this, that's all we need. That's all we need. But what about you? Do you need to take more risks? Think about that, because that impacts where you are with fear. Again, I'm going to keep saying this. Fear of not getting what you want or losing what you already have. All right, do you got any more? We don't. So that's it. I could have put a number of variables there, and I got you started, and I just wanted to get you kind of rolling on that concept. What I want you to do is watch this video, or even just that part of the video, and maybe add some variables, ask some questions. You know, do I take too many risks? Ask the opposite. Is my self-esteem too high? Meaning I take too many risks. And then I want you to look at fear and see what side of it. I probably should have threw one more illustration up. Are you running on more of the side, fear of not getting what you want, maybe on this end, and then on the other end, losing what you already have? Inner Circle, thanks for watching this show. We'll explore fear. It's kind of a concept that's like, it grows with you. It's like an ebb and flow, like a roller coaster. So I don't want to give all this concept away. It would actually take years to explore. So as we do this show and operate in understanding what fear is, we'll talk more about the concept and talk more about the concepts that we like, self-efficacy and self-esteem, as it relates to how you do humanity, how you operate in the world, and how you deal with yourself. Because at the end of the day, how you deal and take care of yourself is probably the most important thing. Because if you're not full, how can you fill others? And on the Inner Circle Counseling Show, that's what we strive to do. Guys, have a great week. Happy holidays. This will be out soon. I got another show about the holidays, probably going to launch with this pretty soon. If you need help, again, like we say, don't do life alone. I know it's so, you just want to go into that hole and hide. No, we're not doing that anymore. We don't have that excuse. We set the show up for this purpose so that you can reach out and we can reach back. And maybe you need to take a risk and reach out. Don't struggle alone. We'll help you here at the Inner Circle Counseling Show.